All right. So, and then I'm going to let Dr. Yan to introduce more and specifically about what is the research program. And it's got an independent research program. So we
Yeah.
call this RIP. And also, why should you participate? But before that, I want to clarify several things. First, it's not like whoever you find and you're going to do research with the person and then you will benefit from it. Okay, most of the college professor they will not take high school students. If they take it, and unless you are very strong independent researcher, otherwise it's hard for you to follow up with the professor because nothing guaranteed. That's the first thing. The second thing, I know there's a lot of like independent research program and some of the PhD student even offer the program, but it's very different working with someone who study and who are doing research by him or herself at the same time ask you to help a little bit. You know, so compared to PhD student doing research and ask a school student to help a little bit, to professors working with student to customize a project for that student. I feel like there's a huge difference, right? So can we start from the comparison first, Dr. Yan?
Yeah, yeah, and I think probably the parents who are attending today's seminar have also seen other organizations offering kind of a similar, right? If you just look at the description, you probably cannot tell like the difference. They are all research programs. So what's the difference between them? We are very selective in choosing who will be our research mentors. We're not choosing PhD candidates who because themselves are struggling with coming up with research publications. So we only choose those senior research mentors who have excellent track records of publication themselves. They also have guided graduate students, undergrad students or grad students in publication. Yeah, so that's our criteria for selecting our research mentors. They are not students themselves. They have been mentors and they know how to get things published and where to publish publications and what kind of projects or writings will get published. And then also and some parents ask us, can you give me some topics to work on? Well, yes, we can. Actually, we have college professors um, who need help with doing some projects. But then we realize that usually college professors, when they recruit high school students to do research, they just need them to work on one small site, usually the labor intensive site. For example, in biology labs, and the students will go in there to wash their dishes and they'll collect some samples. And then we have professors who want students to help them collect data, run survey. We feel that for high school, maybe those are good projects for middle schoolers, but for high school students, by the time when they apply, because we really think of what they can demonstrate by the time when they applied for college, they really need to demonstrate their intellectual curiosity. I don't think washing dishes can demonstrate their intellectual curiosity. And they also need to demonstrate their capability to think innovatively and originally. So that means the project ideas have to come from the students. It cannot just come from the professors who tell you, okay, that's what you need to do, and that's what our lab needs help with. Um, yeah, so that's our rationale, and that's why we're trying very hard to find our research mentors who can give students a hand when they need it, but they will come up with the project ideas themselves. Of course, we realize that students, especially for students who have never had a research experience, that'll be very challenging to do. So we will guide them, and that will be a learning experience for them. At the end, they can not only publish their articles or their findings in some peer-reviewed journals, they can also write that experience into their essay, because this journey is not easy. Okay, for high school students to run a original research process is very challenging. Even for PhD candidates, that's very challenging as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like when I working with my students, first the counseling part, and I'm trying to brainstorm with each student for the unique project. I call this a personalized passion project. So every single student is different, and it is challenging for both students and me because some students, we can have inspiration immediately, and through the brainstorming, we can have different ideas. We finalize each idea, and then we kind of like narrow down, and then I can give the action plan, help them to plan out. But for some students, it's just really hard for them to come up with any idea. So it's kind of like the meeting has to be on, and another one, and after maybe several meeting, those students still don't know. Maybe that situation, I don't really suggest them to do the research or independent project anymore, because they may need something different. And I don't think we should judge any students by they can do this or not. It's just like some of them, they have the potential to go deeper for whatever the research or personalized project. But some students, they are just action taker. They need a plan, and then they need instruction, but they would do very well. So you want to really find out which fits your kids in order to just to try to implement them directly to the research program. So this is also one of the reasons I suggest you to take our assessment, so we understand better about if the research program fits the students or not. Or you can just try to explore if they're still young, and then you can decide and talk to students if they can or they want to go further. Yeah, but I do see like a lot of kids, they just grow out of their their comfortable zone, and then they become very passionate, and then later they even contact some professor to do by themselves. So this is something amazing that we find out through our programs. All right, so actually this research program have been, I would say, going underwater for quite a while. But before, it's only like what I mentioned at the beginning, it's only for several students. But now we try to burn it out, because I think we are ready to focus on a small group of students,